Welcome to Small Arm Solutions. We had a viewer request wanted to do a comparison between the LMT rifle as well as the Knight's Armament 7.62 SR25. So we're going to do that today. Now I do want to make sure you understand first that the SR25 that we have here, this was the original SR25. It is not the current M110. So when I do the comparisons here, I will try to bring up some of the newer features on the newer M110. So we're going to go from there. I'm not really going to tell you which one's better. I'm going to tell you the differences between the two of them. They're both wonderful rifles. I do believe they're different generations of rifle. I believe the LMT is definitely a generation ahead of the SR25 due to its capabilities. But we're gonna go from muzzle to butt here. We're going to talk about the differences between the two. The SR25 or the M110 utilizes a 5R 7.62 barrel. The current ones are 20 inches and they have flash suppressors on them. This is the original match grade barrel. This was a Remington blank 5R, same as the M40, M40A1, 308. Now, even today, the current ones have the throat that's designed specifically for the M118, M118LR. So when the bullet or the cartridge is loaded to the chamber and the bolt's locked, there is no jump, or hardly any jump from the projectile into the rifling. Which is something that you prefer on accurate rifles. However, it does not allow you to take any other round or any other ball round and be able to fire it. If you do, you're likely to have a lot of high pressure, blown primers, and so forth. Looking at the LMT, those barrels are manufactured in-house by LMT. They come in various barrel lengths. You'll come from 13.5, you go to 16, 18, 20 inch. This particular one on here is a 20 inch. This particular barrel is a chrome-plated barrel, more of a military-grade barrel. However, that barrel does shoot 1/2 to 1/4 MOA at 100 yards with the match ammunition. This has a standard 7.62 chamber in it on the LMT. That was also requested during the development process because it was used as a sharpshooter rifle. It was adopted by the British Army as their L129 sniper rifle, and their request was to use M80, or the M80, well, not M80 ball, but the 7.62 NATO ammunition that they used. So there was a difference in the requirements between the two. However, this same rifle with that same ammunition that this one uses, I would put these two on equal playing fields for as far as accuracy, to say the least. However, with the LMT, you have an additional feature of being able to remove the barrel to swap out different barrel lengths in order to have, for close quarter battle, the short barrel, 16, 18, 20 inch barrel, so you can customize it for whatever you're going to be doing with it. Where with the M110, SR25, you have one barrel only. Both of them are full free float barrels. Quad mill standard 1913 on both. This one here, the LMT, this particular version is the LM8, where you have removable rail segments. So you have a complete free-floating barrel. This has a standard gas port, standard 90-degree gas port. This gas port here is actually drilled at an angle. What that does is it keeps the gas port erosion from causing issues with cyclic rate, so you remain the same cycle rate throughout the life of the rifle. So it's one of the changes of the LMT. Also, the gas tubes themselves. This gas tube here is a standard M16 gas tube, which is a little bit short in the back here for as far as going all the way into the carrier key. This is a proprietary barrel assembly. You have a straight gas tube, which is a more durable design. Just due to the heat itself. Front sights. You have a folding front sight on the M110 SR25. You also have a backup type sight on the LMT. The LMT offers backup sights in both meters and inches. The upper receivers themselves, this original one is an extrusion for the SR25. That's since been changed to forging, so the current M110s and Mark 11s will have a forged receiver. This is the early version of the SR25 where it utilized a shell deflector that was actually attached to the 1913 rail, where the LMT is actually, this is all an extrusion. Both of them will have a fire cartridge case deflector. The bulk carrier groups we're going to take apart, or we're going to take out in a few minutes to go through. The stock assemblies, again, this is a SR25 PRS stock from Magpul. This originally came with a standard M16A2 type stock. Now the SR25s for the most part and the M110s come with a proprietary stock that has an adjustable butt plate. The SR20 or the LMT rifle comes with, this is their DMR stock, which also has the adjustable cheek piece for your eye relief, and an adjustable butt pad as well. This also comes with the telescopic stock as well. That's the more popular version. Now the lower receivers is where we get a little bit interesting. During my research for numerous articles and my books and so forth, many of the components of the SR25 are manufactured by LMT. Lewis Machine and Tool does a lot of OEM work for other companies because it is a machine shop also rather than just a gun manufacturer. The lower receivers are actually identical. This is the original SR25 receiver made from an extrusion also. This is not what's currently used today. What's currently used today is the forging. And actually, the second generation, which I like to call it, is what LMT uses. This is actually licensed from Nice Armament, the one that LMT uses here. It has on the back side, it has the same ambidextrous magazine release. Now Knights has a Gen 3, which has an ambidextrous bolt catch as well, so that's current. So currently, Lewis Machine Tool does not offer an ambidextrous bolt catch on the 308 rifles. They do on their 5.56 or the Mars rifles. So we're going to take a look at the actual bolt carriers themselves because this is sort of interesting. Shown here are the bolt carriers. The one on top here, this is the SR25, the original SR25. You can see that it's chrome plated. And it also has the captured fire pin retaining pin. If you notice, it has a standard ejector, standard extractor on it. This was very similar to the original design. This is the LMT here. The LMT has made several improvements. These are not equal. I think the LMT bolt assembly is a much better. It's much stronger. First, we'll take a look at the actual carrier itself. You can see that the gas port has been moved forward on the LMT. The reason that was done was it now exhausts more gas out of the ejection port rather than putting it into the inside of the receiver. Again, both of them are captive frame pin retaining pins. LMT has actually gone as far to put more of a cotter type pin on the inside so it won't come loose, where this one will come loose. And because LMT does have several military customers, they requested that this be changed so when you go to put it into the rifle you don't bend the pin. So if you can see on here, you can see how one of them has the openings in there to keep that in, so you actually have to push it out, and this one here will fall out. Now we actually compare the bolts themselves. If you notice this one right here, the LMT, you see dual ejectors. You see a whole new design on the actual geometry of the locking lugs. The extractor has been highly modified to become more durable. The material is much stronger on the LMT. You also have a proprietary nickel type finish that they have on it. Now, the LMT has definitely done a lot of work to advance it. Now, for as far as Knights, the current ones do have a couple modifications. The current Knights actually have a couple grooves in each side, which are used for letting crud go out, more like dust or sand grooves. And they have modified the ejector. The ejector now, the hole in the bolt has been drilled longer or deeper, so you can have a longer spring, extractor or ejector spring, and the actual ejector itself has been modified as well to increase the strength of ejection. The LMT was designed also to work as an SBR or short barrel with a 13.5 inch barrel. Due to the fact that the LMT can change out barrels just by popping out two bolts, you can literally have any barrel length on there at any given time. So the bolt was designed so it would work 100% reliably with all different barrel lengths. The shorter you go with the barrel, the higher the rate of fire, and that speeds up the speed of the cycle of operations. And what would happen with a one ejector a lot of times is the bolt would not be open. The spring didn't have enough time to actually eject the fired cartridge case. So what would happen is you would have stovepipes. Well, by LMT adding a second ejector in there, that took care of that problem. There was plenty of ejection force to throw that cartridge case out there much quicker. So you had 100% reliability with the 12.5-inch barrels or 13.5-inch barrels. I don't believe that Knights really has any of those shorter barrels out yet, so I don't believe they've had a need to actually make any changes. Now, the L129 that was sold to the British MOD by LMT utilized the second generation Knights bolt carrier group, because that's one of the components that I believe that LMT manufactures in-house for Knights. So they licensed the lower receiver and the bolt carrier group from Knights Armament, and then they built on their MRP upper receiver, which was made up of the L129. Since then, all commercial and all other bolt carrier groups are all the new LMT improved. I do believe at some point that the ones that the British use will probably be swapped over once it's accepted by them, because the way that the gun was accepted originally was the original Knights Armament bolt carrier group. This came up later as a much better improvement and a much better alternative. But I do believe that, like any military, they would have to qualify the new bolt carrier group before they would put it into their inventory, which I imagine would happen at some time. All current LMT rifles that are being tested and fielded overseas are all using this new enhanced bolt carrier group. I was really glad to see that LMT and Knights both have stuck with the chrome plating. I'm a big fan of chrome-plated bolt carriers. I mean, I know you got all the nickel borons and the black nitrides and NP3s and all the stuff that's out there. I tend to really favor the chrome. It's very easily cleaned. Some people say that it's too shiny or whatever, and I don't know. I doubt your position is going to be given away by a chrome-plated bolt carrier. You can see that one is shinier than the other. It just depends on how it was prepped. If it was polished to more of a mirrored finish, you'll get more of a shiny. If it was left more dull, you'll get more of a matte finish. But you'll see the chrome, in all these guns come in different. Some are shinier, some are more matte, but it's still chrome plating. So that's definitely something that I'm very fond of. Now, for as far as the bolt strengths are concerned, there's hands down, I believe that the LMT is a much stronger bolt. Is the Knights going to fail you? I don't believe so. I've never really heard of any of the Knights bolts breaking. They're also used semi-automatic only, which is another thing for as far as LMT goes. LMT manufactures their rifles also in fully automatic. In fact, the New Zealand Army, when they bought their 7.62 rifles, they wanted a fully automatic capability, which I think was a very smart choice. Even though that the rifle was set up as a precision sniper rifle, snipers generally go out in 1 to 2 man teams, and if they were to find themselves to get into trouble by themselves or in their 2-man teams, by having that selective fire capability, you can turn your long-range sniper rifle into a light support weapon on fully automatic fire. And that may be the difference in getting you out of a bad situation. So I do believe that having the fully automatic capability is important. So when LMT designed theirs was designed around full automatic. So they know it'll work in full automatic. They know it'll work in semi-automatic. As far as the Knights are concerned, I'm aware of them doing some prototypes in fully automatic. I'm not sure if they've done anything, in fully automatic for as far as their testing. I know these initial rifles were only available in semi-automatic, but I can definitely say for sure that the LMT was designed to fire fully automatic, which definitely tells you there's more testing involved and there's more durability requirements and so forth. So, I definitely think hands down that this bolt is a superior design. Looking at the price tags on here, you're looking at about $3,100 for the LMT, and for a current SR25, you're looking at about $4,500. So you're spending a lot of extra money on the Knights to have probably half of the capabilities that you do have with the LMT. Again, everything Knights put out, you can double the price versus anybody else, regardless of whether it's as good or better. But as far as looking at the price points, this will cost you about $1,000 less, but it'll give you additional capabilities that the SR25 does not. If you were to look at the M110 rifle, the actual in-service M110 rifle, to buy one of those commercially, you're looking at over 10 grand for an M110. And an M110 is not much different from their standard rifle other than the color, and they add a suppressor to it. So you are paying a lot for that name. So, both rifles are excellent rifles. You definitely wouldn't make a mistake going either way. If I had to choose, I would choose the LMT. for the reasons it's made precision. It has all the additional capabilities of going with the different barrels. You have, the only thing that you can say that the SR25 has that this one does not, as of now, is does not have an MB bolt release. And with the introduction of LMT's Mars rifle in 5.56, I believe that we will be seeing in the future a Mars version of the 7.62 that will take care of the issue of not having a bolt release on the right side. There's a lot of connection between these two companies. It's due to the fact that Lewis Machine Tool again has manufactured components for Knight's Armament, a lot of different components. So the two companies do have a close relationship, and it's simply seen between looking at the lower receivers and the bolt carrier groups. During my research for a couple of articles, I definitely learned that LMT was one of the contractors for Knights. So for as far as quality concerned, it's coming out of the same company. A lot of the major components. Accuracy, I can't say one over the other. I really can't, because both of these shoot, as far as I'm concerned, equally. With proper ammunition and good optics, which these both have, the shooting is excellent. This rifle here, the SR25, you have sort of a limit in what kind of ammunition you can use because of the way the barrel is. Now, I could have chosen to have the barrel chamber modified to accept other ones, but I wanted to keep it, how they would guarantee 1 MOA. So I've left it that way. And as far as I know, all the military M110s and Mark 11s that have been provided to the U.S. military have this chamber in it to use specifically the M118 and M118LR ammunition. The LMT, on the other hand, their first major military contract to the British Army, which was a big deal because the Brits don't like buying American guns. There was a specific requirement that it not use match ammunition, that it can use their duty 7.62 ball and still have that kind of accuracy, which it does. The British did not buy a selective fire version; they bought the semi-automatic only version. However, the sales were made in New Zealand. On the other hand, it was a select fire rifle. Now, once you put that switch on automatic and you fire the thing on full, you're going to ruin that barrel for being precision accuracy. But if you get into a situation where you have to put that on fully automatic, the life of your barrel is going to be the least of your worries. Then you get back to garrison, you pop out 2 bolts, you replace it with a new match barrel, and you're ready to go with this thing. The maintenance is far much easier on the LMT. The URX rail systems all require specialized tools to remove. This barrel change can be done at user level. This is going to require an armorer. But for as far as the trigger mechanisms and the bolt carriers, the two are equal. Stock options, LMT offers both this type of a DMR stock as well as folding. Knights, you pretty much have their version of the fixed stock that has the adjustable rear butt pad. However, you can certainly purchase one of the stock kits from LMT, put it on the SR25 and turn it into a carbine. It's a mil-spec receiver extension, so you can pretty much put any trigger grip that you would want. LMT also, they prefer to go with the ergo grip here versus Knight's going with the A2 pistol grip. Now, one of the design parameters when the SR25 was developed was they wanted as much parts commonality with the M16A2 as possible, which basically said that Gene Stone and Reed Knight already had the eyes set on this rifle for military use. So they want to put in as many compatible parts as they could. For instance, it has a standard rifle receiver extension. It's all standard pistol grip, a fire control mechanism. The bolt catch is different. The magazine release is the same. Front pivot pins are different. So most of the major components are the same. And then of course with the gas tube as well. Where LMT they do maintain some of that parts commonality, but they've just made several enhancements. The LMT rifles, Colonel Lewis doesn't have any rifles that you would say are complete. His rifles are in a constant state of upgrade, so you will see incremental changes. But there's one thing we can say about both of these two rifles is the lineage of Gene Stoner. Only wish the Gene Stoner could have survived to see his design from the 1960s that was ignored by Ordnance Corps because of all the politics and all the BS that went on back then, to come back in 1995 And then over these next intervening 20, 30 years, they become the primary sniper rifle of the most advanced and elite military units in the world. Perhaps that's a tribute to Gene Stoner for his vision, manufacturing truly tomorrow's rifle today, or maybe it's the military's credit to them finally waking up and knowing that they had the best rifle in the industry right in front of them that they passed over. But today the SR-25 and the LMT rifles have been the inspiration for many, many companies to manufacture AR-10 type rifles, to make them one of America's favorite rifles. It's used for everything from long-range precision shooting, law enforcement, military, hunting, as well as target shooting. This video was actually viewer requested, and if you have any weapons you'd like to see reviewed, please comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, please click like and please subscribe. Thank you.